Have you ever wanted to live in a world whose dawn is very grim, where your new neighbors look a little inhumane, or where food prices don't matter? If so, welcome to Grim Dawn, an ARPG which is both single and multiplayer. The multiplayer is up to 4 players, so if you have your fellow ape brains you can experience pain with them, but with other friends, I don't know that term, all I know is exploitation. The game is made by the company Crate Entertainment, which has been made by the former members of Iron Lore Entertainment, who have made the game Titan Quest, again an RPG. Grim Dawn takes place in Cairn, a world which represents the Orklands, aka Britain. After the Queen dies, the lands have been brought to ruin and humans, surprisingly enough, are driven to the edge of extinction. The war is between two factions, the Adios, aka the Scottish, who view our bodies as a resource to use, and the Catonians, aka the English, who are intent on destroying humanity before that can happen. Both factions invaded this world by our smart species being too competent and not being able to control the situation, so eventually the creatures broke out. The story of your character begins by being hanged on a rope because you're possessed by an ethereal, and the only way to kill it is by killing the host and the ethereal in it. But the second before you die, the spirit flees from your body, they take you down from the rope and you fall asleep. After you wake up, you can start playing the game and get your first quest. The first person you can talk to is Yavris, who from the cutscene is the guy who hangs you, and every time I speak to him he always has his eyes on me. Either he is gay or he just wants me dead. He's from the first faction you're going to encounter, Davis Crossings, whose leader I presume is Bourbon, the maid who saves you from death and gives you another chance to live. As the description says, they're survivors who are running out of supplies. Bourbon is going to give you quests to do which will progress the main storyline, but you can do side quests as well which give you XP, money, items and faction reputation. Faction reputation is very important because by having high reputation you unlock faction gear, you get faction discounts, you unlock more faction quests. Of course you have the funny document which boosts your faction reputation farm, but who needs that shit? We're hardcore gamers, we don't need documents to represent other factions, we simply represent ourselves by destruction. Though the faction gear you can buy from the Quartermaster is very good, so focus on that if you don't have good enough gear. There are 12 main factions in the game, not including the DLCs, because I'm poor and I'm going to review only the main game, so suck it pussies. We have 5 hostile factions and 7 friendly factions. The 7 friendly factions are Devil's Crossings, your first faction, the Rovers, Homestead, the Black Legion, Kimun's Chosen, Order of the Dead's Vigil, and the Outcast. Devil's Crossing is the first faction you're going to encounter. You form their reputation through quests, bounties, which are available after you reach respected level with a certain faction, and killing Cornwall's gang. Cornwall's gang are a bunch of bandits escaped Devil's Crossing, which was a prison at the time. Hostile factions have a reputation as well, but it's different. The more enemies you kill, the more hostile they get, and more variants of enemies appear, more heroes spawn, and finally nemesis spawns appear. Nemesis are just bosses but with different name. The second faction you're going to encounter are the Rovers. The Rovers are a nomadic faction and they hate violence. You form their reputation through quests, bounties and killing Acrobian undead. The Acrobian undead are skeletons and ghosts. The third friendly faction is Homestead. They're a bunch of farmers who have some minor bug problems. The enemies you have to kill to farm their rep are beasts. Beasts don't have a rep system, so take it as a hunting season, or simply put, control of the wildlife. The fourth friendly faction is the Black Legion. There's some old Imperial soldiers who want to save the glory of the Empire or some shit. For you to form their rep, you have to kill the Outcast, but the Outcast is a valuable friendly faction, so I don't recommend on killing that one single lady, because if you are a lore nerd or a gear nerd, both like me, you want to keep her alive. She has some valuable quests, which decrease your rep with the Black Legion, but don't worry, you can regain it through bounties. You form Outcast rep through killing Aterius and Catonians. Aterius are the undead you kill at the start of the game and the deformed and corrupted creatures of this planet. The Catonians are some weird creatures from another world and cultists who have a very annoying fucking bosses. Kimun's Chosen and the Order of the Dead's Vigil are 2 cultist factions and you have to choose one of them to be your ally, or you don't choose any and you beat the game anyways. Basically what I did. The one thing I like about this game is the variety in equipment and gameplay. You can either start your first quest and complete the main storyline, or you can just go fuck all, level up through killing enemies, kill the warden, build a bridge for the other part of the game with money and scrap, defeat Cronley the gang leader, go to Homestead and do the quest there. As a citizen of my nation, I can only say, I love freedom. The second thing I like about the game is the brand aneurysm that it gives me when I have to change my gear. I've stayed with the same fucking helm since I was level 12, and not only that, but as well my shoulders are from level 21 and my character is level 75, and I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, which means my equipment is a little behind with armor protection. But why is that? Well, if you see the funny text below the funny name of the gear, you can see the bonuses that it gives to my character. Keep in mind that the resistances in the game are very important if you don't want to get one-shotted by the enemy, and as well, the points that it gives to my character's abilities are quite OP, and replacing them is very hard because it's a little, just a little, difficult to find better starts to replace your old equipment. Resistances are something you want to follow, because you don't want to get butt fucked when you fight a boss. You have to keep your resistances at a high percentage, because if one of them is low, you better do the tactic of running in circles until the enemy dies, or run for your life, damage the enemy once, and then repeat the cycle. When you beat the game, you unlock a higher difficulty, which makes the enemy stronger and decreases your resistances. Of course, at first I thought I would be fine, but oh boy, once I realized that having negative poison and acid percentage makes me want to kill myself, I immediately began to pray for the specific protection. But the game gave me something greater than OP resistances or OP perk points. It gave me empowered dementia. Finally, I have achieved something that no other being could ever get. In this beautifully made game, you can choose 2 out of 6 masteries, not including the DLCs. You have the soldier, who is best with melee weapons, the demolitionist, who is my personally favorite because you have the freedom to burn your enemies alive and create chaos. The occultist, who can summon pets to help him, the nightblade, who is just a soldier but dual wields, the arcanist, who is the magic man, and finally the shaman, who is our nature loving freak. I did say you can choose 2 masteries because you can do combinations. My personal one is the commando, who is a combination of the demolitionist and the soldier, and I recommend you to invest fully into the demolitionist. You will thank me later. There are many more combinations you can make with all of these masteries, but explaining is hard, so I'll link a very useful site which will show you all of them. Besides the skill points, you will have devotion points, which are star signs with buffs. They are unlocked by completing devotion shrines and getting points for one of the 5 affinities. The 5 affinities are the Ascendant, Chaos, Eldritch, Order, and Primordial. Depending on your mastery, you should invest points in what you need. Of course, besides getting armor from vendors or drops, you can craft them from the blacksmith. You have to get blueprints, which can unlock various kinds of armor, weapons, relics, and components. Besides blueprints, you have recipes, which unlock the crafting of consumables. And if you have completed the quests from the Necromancer and the Ghost in Old Akrovia, you unlock the blueprint for the skeleton key. You may be thinking, why do I need a skeleton key? Well, with the key you can enter dungeons which give you good XP and rewards. As well, you need them to complete quests from the Outcast faction, which requires you to go in them. But dungeons in this game are one of the reasons I want to throw myself from a high place, because the game throws at you a whole Mongolian horde of enemies expecting me to deal with them with no problem. I can, but when I'm out leveling them. And when you die in a dungeon, you cannot go there again. But if you want to go there again, you can restart your game session and have fun clearing the whole dungeon again. The same goes for the final boss battle, where I just decided to level up when entering the boss room, so I don't lose a ton of XP when dying. And when you die in the game, you lose XP, but you can pick it up when you reach your grave. But keep in mind, the higher the difficulty and your level, the more XP you lose and the less you recover, so you better be careful when you fight enemies. Overall, the game is good, I rate it very highly, but sometimes it makes me want to commit war crimes in the Balkans. The game is 23.99 euros on Steam, so for the content it has, the price is perfect. You have DLC content as well, which adds more to the game, but I'm poor and I don't have them. And it's not because I waste my money on other crap. Oh no. Trust me, I never waste my money. Though if you cannot afford the game, don't worry. There are other methods which sell you games for cheaper and are very reliable, and in my opinion, a little more trustworthy than some game stores, but that's just me. There goes another ramble about video games for me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again very soon. Adios mi personas, enjoy your day, and know that I am watching you. But before I go, I want to tell you something. The Route 34 pictures of Anesthesia from the Outcast, they, very indeed, make me act up. Now bye bye people, enjoy your day.